It is the Matt Mosley Show, and it's the live TV version. And you're hearing from Scott Drew as he prepares to get the Bears ready for this Las Vegas showcase, this invitational. And Scott, great to have you, man. I feel like a lot has happened since we talked, including a nice win over Washington, some extremely balanced scoring. How have things been going since we last talked?
Well, good, because we're still undefeated. So everything's good. We've it's that time of year, and you always hit that time of year at some point where everybody gets sick, and we've had strep throat, flu, colds, virus, whatever. And I'm coming off the tail end, but it's made its way through the team. The good news is get it out of the way now, and this is a perfect time, hopefully all before we leave for Vegas.
You and I are the same age. What do you do when they start telling you? Other night I was at Walgreens, and they said, have you had a flu shot? I said, yeah. They said, have you had your RSV, shingles, booster? And they gave me like 3 or 4 other opportunities. And I said, you know what? I'm not against those things, but I think I'm going to pass on that. Are you someone that likes to just let them poke you with anything they have? Or are you just a basic flu shot guy?
I'm a basic flu shot guy. I know everyone has different opinions on everything. My doctor said with shingles, wait till I'm a little bit older. So,
good.
The less shots, the better.
That's good.
I'm not thinking to get my blood drawn or anything like that.
The worst. It's the worst. They have to lay me down, and they have to, and I begged for juice and fruit and anything to kind of keep me in the game a little bit.
Well, as manly as you are, Mosley, I'm sure you are fine. You're like, here, poke me.
I think you know me better than that. I struggle. Certain things I can take, but I can't take that. Lot going on with Baylor right now, the program and everything. I did want to start out. I thought Elijah Williams, Monty's son, and a kid from San Antonio. From year to year, you never know. With the portal, like how big a class you're going to have. You've had bigger ones, but boy, this is someone you've had your eye on for a lot of years now. In fact, I've heard so much about him that I almost felt like he should have been sitting over there on the roster this year. I'm like, wait, this kid's a incoming guy. But that's pretty neat because like his sister went to Baylor. I would imagine, because of Monty's time in the NBA, you've known him for a lot of years. How cool was that, and how great is that for Monty, whose family has been through a lot, but that's a pretty amazing family. How neat was that, and what can folks expect from Elijah?
Well, first and foremost, when you're looking to prepare champions for life, it doesn't get much better than Elijah. Spiritual, academic, character formation, athletic, embraces them all. A lot of people don't know this, but his sister Faith went to Baylor University, and so Monty's coached a lot of different NBA teams. Extremely successful coach, but he's been wearing green and gold for a minute because Faith had him in Baylor for a while. And Elijah's somebody, a special young man that really has developed, and his game continues to improve. This summer at the USA tryouts, a number of coaches and people up there really thought he was extremely effective and continues to get better and better. His dad was a successful NBA player. It won't be long unless Elijah's already gotten him where he's beaten him. So couldn't be more pleased and happy. Fitz' position was basketball. Elijah can pass it, dribble it, shoot it. I'm not going to tell his dad, but I think he clearly is a better shooter already. So he can really shoot that thing. But at the same time, good physicality, a great teammate. So with so many rules up in the air, so many things up in the air, we proceeded with caution rather than trying to fill out the roster.
Yeah, and if you ever need somebody to put some eyes, I know you usually turn to me for that, but Monty would not be a bad guy, would he? To say, "Hey, Monty, look at what we're doing here. Let's see what you think."
Well, what I appreciate too is you look at it. Monty's coached. He's actually coaching both his sons right now, and that's so cool. In high school, what a great mentor and coach he is for them. and everybody at that school. But you look at Cam Carr's dad played in the NBA, Chris, Iggy's dad, obviously Andre played in the NBA, and all those guys that were successful in the NBA love and understand the value of culture and what Baylor brings, family atmosphere, preparing champions for life. And I always say actions speak louder than words, and putting your son in a place where they can grow on and off the court, that's says a lot about Baylor University and what Baylor's about.
All right. Boy, that looked the other night against Tarleton. It's funny to see Billy over there, and I can't help but think back on those Baylor A&M when, you were in your fairly early days, and Billy Clyde was at A&M, and then, of course, after that, Turgeon, and that really turned into something. But great to see him coaching, and quite honestly, with the health stuff he's been through, to even see him over there, it still kind of looks like a bulldog. At one point during the game, I don't know if you heard about this, those kids you have in the Bear outfits over there, the cameras caught Billy Clyde kind of going at them. I don't know what he was saying to them, but he was there was some back and forth going on. But they, I thought that was a good challenge. They obviously, the kid from UCF went off in that game. How do you handle? What's your takeaway from that? I mean, like in one hand, it's like, okay, yeah, the guy scored 42. The good part is the rest of the team didn't score that much. How do you, when you see a guy just going off like that, at some point, are you like, you know what, let's just try to, hold down everything else? What was your thought process coming out of that?
Well, first and foremost, the most important thing is get the win. And we got the win. And it reminded me of, we played K-State. Remember the year they had Beasley and I forget the other guy who's really athletic, what his name was, but they scored like 79 points combined, those two players, and we ended up getting the win. And the rest of the team had like 9 or 10. So at the end of the day, getting the win is the most important thing. One thing, it early in the year, you're so you prioritize putting the foundation in. And then now that the house is built, you're starting to decorate the rooms. So obviously we'll work on if a player gets going, what are some options, alternatives we can do to slow them down. We've already worked on that this week. So hopefully nobody gets 42. We do like the other guys not scoring much, but we'll definitely have some anti-lock breaks to put on somebody in the future.
Yeah, I mean, that he was something else. And, of course, now you got me thinking. Jacob Pullen played with Beasley, but it's not him. I know you're talking about Walker. That kid's name is Walker. Bill Walker. Yeah. I knew we both, between us, it was gonna jog our memory. But, yeah, those were I have nightmares like those people and then like Iowa State people. There are people from Iowa State. I don't know, his name was Royce or something. They're just people from back in the day that could just jump over you, and occasionally Stacy or somebody would end up with one of those monsters, and they come to mind a little bit. All right, the other night against Tarleton, though, Ike Williams, I call him Ike. I don't know if y'all do. Isaac, I guess, is what I see the TV people calling him. I mean, there are moments, and I'll just suddenly fall in love with this one player and be like, oh my gosh, God. But I think. I mean, this guy, the pace with which he plays at and the finishing ability, and it's like, oh, my gosh, if he's going to start knocking down threes, because I think we see him at the line and see that maybe not being the best play. And it's like, okay, is this guy that's when he gets on. I thought he changed that game in a big way the other night. And I looked up maybe with 14 or 15 minutes left in the second half, and it's just like this dude just changed everything about this game. And so that's got to be pretty cool to know you have that, at least right now, sitting on the bench. Who knows what, how you'll use him moving forward.
Well, I think a couple of things. One, playing in Germany, we were able to see just how effective Isaac was and how hard he is to keep from getting downhill and getting to the rim. At the same time, he's somebody that works really hard on his craft and really become a much more consistent 3-point shooter and free throw shooter. So really proud of the work he's put in defensively. He can get after you. He's got great size, strength. He'll get nothing but better, because anybody that works that hard improves. With that also, I think that's a sign of a good team is you have multiple players that can help you. When you go to the bench, our goal is never to maintain. It's always to get people in waves and get better when you go to the bench. So our best teams have always done that, and we'll continue to try to do that.
All right, and that's a good thing when people like me are out there like, wait, I think that guy might be the best player on the team. And then one game you're like, no, it's Cameron Carr. And then I'm sure there'll be times this year where we say that about Tunde. And so I think those are your best teams, right? When you have several guys who can do it, because not everybody's going to be on the same night. What you pray is not everybody's off, right, on the same night. But this team obviously is going to be able to score. What about Carr is so electric, and I mean he scores. It's like he scores 23, just kind of like walking out. I mean it seems kind of almost with ease. Like in the second half, for instance, though, when he went, it's so noticeable because he scored 17 in the first half. When he went a pretty good long amount of time without scoring, is that him deferring? Is that something they did? Were y'all just having other players like Ike make plays? What was going on the other night with that?
Well, I think you get what you take what the defense gives you.
Yeah.
And for a minute there, Isaac was really rolling, getting downhill, and I think at the same time, the best we can be as a team is have multiple players that can hurt you. If you go into a game and there's only one guy to guard, like you said, you're not going to be on every night. And so with us, if we can get multiple guys in double figures, multiple people that can affect the game, that's the better for us. And I think the longer this team plays together, when a player has it rolling, hopefully if you don't have a great shot, you turn it down to give that other person a chance or a better look when they're going. And what's hard is when you have newer teams, everybody's good. So when they arrive, they all can score, they can all play. And now it's starting to learn your teammates. So Mosley, you just bang 3 threes. I come down. I don't have to take a quick shot that's not great. Let me give you the ball and give you a shot at it. But again, as teams form, that it takes a little time to mature and grow through that. So that's why these early season games you learn so much. The whole key is learning with wins, because sometimes you learn and your season's torpedoed before you get a chance to even go.
Nunley, by the way, does not like the no pass 3, the dribble into. I mean, I'm sure there's one in transition. Sometimes it's okay, but boy, like in a half court set, and he kind of blamed it on you. He said Scott Drew does not like that shot. So anyway, he was representing you there on the broadcast.
I'd have been okay with it. Just.
And by the way, off the bench, JJ White hit a big shot. I mean, they had a little run going, and he hit a really big shot there in the corner. Now, what'd you say to Kaden Pal? Because he, whether or not those were rough calls or whatever, he took himself out of that game with 3 quick fouls with 10, 12 minutes left in the first half. I'm sure you had a talk with him about, okay, we've got to have you. What's the message to him? Because obviously he's your one just true center right now.
Well, I think first and foremost, we had several players not feeling their best, and Kaden had the flu, and you know what? Most kids wouldn't have played. And so the fact that he wanted to play and give what he had to help the team, he won the game regardless of how he played. And again, if it would have put him in harm's way, our trainer wouldn't have let him play. But nowadays, players have a ton of autonomy on when they play, when they don't, and really proud of how Kaden battled and tried. So yes, he knows can't get in foul trouble that quick. Regardless, good calls, bad calls, they're calls. But at the end of the day, he could do no wrong in my eyes because he won the game for trying.
I like that. I mean, are we going to call that the Kaden Pal flu game?
Yeah, you can call it whatever you want. I appreciate him giving what he had for the team.
Well, now you've got this thing coming up. I Creighton, we talked about Creighton a little bit, St. John's. How does this work? You play, because like even Ashley seems to say something like when he's discussing this invitational, he's like, and maybe one more game. So you got a Monday game, you got a Tuesday game against St. John's. What's the deal on this? If you have to like win them both, and you might have another game, or how's this work?
So, coaches, we're locked in on one game at a time. So I'm locked in on Creighton, but we get 3 games there. Depending on what we do in the first 2 will depend on the third. So those 2 are set in stone. The third depends on wins and losses with the first games, and other teams' wins and losses with their first 2 games. So Creighton, obviously, we have an experience just playing them in the NCAA tournament not too long ago. Coach McDermott's an outstanding coach. Remember him going back to Iowa State days. Also, we played him in San Antonio in the NCAA tournament. Their teams are always a juggernaut on the offensive end. They have a lot of size, a lot of length. He's a great coach. They're a great program.
Yeah, we crushed them. I mean, you didn't add that part. We crushed them in San Antonio, and I'll just say that for you. Kalkbrenner was such a incredible player for them. Late, they seem to perform best. They like to have one of those 7-footers roaming around, and preferably a skilled one. What is their front line like this year, and kind of what do you see? And I know they it didn't seem like you liked the way they played against Gonzaga. I think they're 2-1 early in the season. Same for St. John's, by the way. But what are you seeing from them on film?
Well, first and foremost, Gonzaga. We understand how hard it is to play Gonzaga up there, especially late at night. So that's a hostile environment. Coach Few runs a great program. We all know. And it was closer than the final score indicated. A lot of back and forth in the first half. With that, Coach McDermott's a big man. He prefers to have guys taller than him around, I guess. So he's always got a bunch of 7-footers, and he always runs great stuff. They're always skilled. And this is, again, a typical Coach McDermott, top 20 offensive team in the country with a lot of size and length defensively.
And this is where playing that exhibition against Indiana, and obviously they're going to have really good athletes and good players, I think is very helpful to you, right? It was a close game, didn't count. Now these games count. I would think you can kind of lean back on that experience, because this will probably be a bigger crowd. This will be a more neutral site than even that Indiana. But y'all performed fine there. I know it wasn't a great second half, but this will be a true neutral. I like these, Scott, better than going up to what you were just talking about, Spokane or Detroit.
Yeah,
some of those places.
100%. It'll be a lot more neutral crowd in Vegas. Although without them having football, I'm sure they'll have fans there. As you know, when you're playing a football season, it divides your fan base when you play on the same days or during the same times. With that, the one thing, if we can get you away from the tables long enough to come cheer us on, we'd appreciate that. Or make a ton of money, and then you can help donate it to the program. We're good either way, mostly.
All right.
But this is a great tournament where you'll learn a lot about your team. It'll help prepare everyone for their conference tournament. It'll help everyone prepare for the conference play ahead. And with us, it'll go back-to-back nights, extremely different styles. And when I mean a lot of size, a lot of length, that first night, more pressure and switching and athleticism the second night. So both teams will play fast, so transition defense is going to be important for us. And then the last 2 games, we haven't been good on the glass. We have to do a great job there.
Yeah, I did notice that. Just the bottom line numbers. Sometimes with rebounding, if you're making a ton of shots and you got stuff going on, the numbers aren't going to be as high. But typically, Tarleton State wouldn't out-rebound you. So yeah. I don't know exactly what that was about. Although I will say, from an offensive, you love offensive rebounding, and some of your best teams have been great offensive rebounding. Tunde it really looks like a big-time offensive rebounder, and I was thinking about him. Who does he remind you most of players you've had? Like I was watching how he's big, but he's also kind of like rangy. Like it's a really interesting thing to watch somebody that big, that's that athletic, and like a guard. I can't help but think. I think a Lace Lace was crazy strong.
Yeah.
And this guy's probably bigger, obviously, than Lace. But is there anybody this guy reminds you of that you've had talking about Tunde?
Well, I'm hoping at the end of the year he reminds people of defensively of Davion a little bit. Davion's obviously a lot smaller, but Tunde's physicality, length, toughness, a lot of similarities there. Royce O'Neal in the NBA, I think body comp wise, Royce is again a really good defender, but Tunde's his own individual, and I know Anthony Edward comps, and that's another good one. But I think what we forget sometimes is freshmen normally take time to adjust and grow throughout the season.
Yeah.
And this freshman class in particular has been so highly talked about, and a lot of these guys have come out and had great starts to the season. Tunde's done remarkable for a freshman, and couldn't be more pleased with the teammate he is, and just how his willingness to improve and get better. And at the end of the year, just like the freshman we just had, VJ, I think you'll see continued growth and progression, because both of them are great teammates, hard workers, very serious about their craft.
I think Kelvin finally saw all your one and dones for the last however many 5, 6, 7 years, and went out and decided to get him a couple. Right? I saw Seanock or whatever that. I mean, that guy's like 6'10", out shooting threes and stuff the other night. But we don't have to worry about them for a little while. And well, you were just talking about some of your former players, Davion. Isn't that cool to see him? And I know maybe Miami has Hero and a couple other guys out, but Davion has run the point and he's played beautifully. He's not turning the ball over. He's hitting the three when he needs to. I mean, what a great, some guys just don't find the right fit in the NBA.
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty awesome when a guy gets to the right place. And then Keontae, I thought, well, they'll get this, the high draft pick that they had. I'm like, well, they'll probably turn that guy loose a little bit. Keontae, sometimes, boy, having a little competition come in drives a guy to another level. And from a scoring, you always knew he could score, but that's pretty wild. I mean, he can go off for 30, 35 any night.
Well, that's one thing that finding the right fit is so important. And when you're talking about the Heat and just what they embrace, what they love, Spoelstra has to love having Davion represent the Heat. And that's why we were able to win a championship as well. Davion brings so many of those winning characteristics. And at the same time, I think all the players that we've had, they all continue to grow, improve. They've had great careers, but a lot of success comes down to being in the right situations, right fits. I remember my brother was drafted 16th by the Rockets, and they had Olajuwon and Barkley. And it was real simple for my brother. You kick it down to them, they get double teamed, kick it out, my brother shoots a three. Well, that system worked for him. And then Barkley and Olajuwon got old, got injured, and now all of a sudden went to a spread offense, one-on-one ISO situation, who can break down their man, and now that's not a good fit for him. And so what I'm saying is, like, getting to the right fit and going to the place that utilizes your talent and skills. And a lot of times it's not coaches or GM or anybody's fault. Like, we might have, hey, we're going to run this system, and now all of a sudden one of our players, look at Tristan Clark. He was leading the country in field goal percentage. We were playing through him, and then he goes out with a season-ending injury, and we have to become the Golden State Warriors, and ended up beating Syracuse in the first round of the tournament. I think we made, 17 threes that game or something. You adjust to what you have, and injuries affect that as well.
I still think of Bryce like he's 23 years old. So you saying he played with those guys, it seems crazy to me. But I guess we all age at some point a little bit. Last thing I had for you, I think all of us who've been friends with Mack are feeling for him and this whole Baylor situation. I don't think that's probably something you have to address with your team. I don't know how much they pay attention to some of the national stuff going on with that. But for you, and I think there's probably some things going on right now that would not even allow you to reach out to him. I'm sure you would love to. But, like, what would you say he's done for you since he came to Baylor? I mean, you had a really good relationship with Ian all those years. Mack comes in during a time of great strife with the football program and everything that was happening. It seemed like you and Mack have enjoyed a really good relationship.
Well, when I was asked that at one of the media things, it's what makes Baylor special are the people, and love Mack, love his family, praying for them. And I think all Baylor Nation can do that. Baylor family can do that. We won a championship together. So you have great memories of hoisting and see the trophy, seeing the confetti. But that's the one thing I think everyone at Baylor loves, the opportunity to love people and pray for them. And definitely doing that now.
Scott, I appreciate it. I will be monitoring y'all's every move, and so I'm glad. I want to see 3 games, and we'll all settle in. This is the best time of the year to watch. I love that Thanksgiving family shows up, and then you got all this college basketball that happens, and so I love all that stuff watching. So we'll be pulling for you, and who knows? If I get a wild hair, I'll just show up out there if you'll help me with tickets.
Yeah, just don't spend all your money at the tables. Come over and watch us play too.
Yeah, I don't know about you and the craps table, so I'm a little worried. Okay, we'll be praying about that. Thank you, sir.
Take care, Matt.